Hello and welcome back to Shamrock Fresh. I'm Chef Chris Casson, and today we're going to take a look at some Farmland products. Now, when I say Farmland, many of you probably already know the brand. You might even be using it in your facility currently, or you've probably seen it even in retail, as it does have great brand recognition. Now, what we want to do is dig a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about Farmland as a company, but we're also going to look at the bacon category today. And as a chef, when looking to put bacon on your menu, your primary focus is the flavor, maybe the cut, or even the smoke that's used on the product. We want to dig a little deeper. We want to look at what does Farmland spec out to make their different grades, look at the different tiers that they have so you fully understand the product line that you're ordering. Now, Farmland as a company is fully integrated. They own the process start to finish, they only use domestic hogs, and they only use fresh bellies, never frozen. Now, with a true hardwood smoke, no liquid smoke, you're getting that consistent flavor day in and day out. Let's go over to the table and take a look at some of the products. So the first three items that we're going to take a look at here are Farmland's Gold Medal brand bacon. Now, Gold Medal means that it's a center cut on the belly, and it's going to be their top tier, and you'll see why as we move through these. Now, this is a 10 to 14 cut. You can see it's nice and even, and this is an apple cider applewood smoke. So you're getting that true applewood smoked, and the apple cider actually gives it that slight sweetness, and you can see down here on the bacon that it also gives it a little deeper color as it caramelizes. Notice that the bacon cooks very consistently all the way across the board, and what we're looking at here is what they call their single slice, which means that it lays out on this parchment paper, which saves you a little bit of labor because all you have to do is pick this up, transfer it to a sheet tray, and go right into the oven. Now, the next item that we have here is minus the apple cider. It's just a true applewood smoked bacon. Now, this one here that you're looking at is a 6 to 8 count cut, which once again means that there's 6 to 8 per pound. You can see it's much thicker, and as you can tell down here even, you're getting a nice thick cut piece of bacon. Still cooks very consistently, but you're going to have a little bit more body to the bacon, if you will. So once again, for a nice sandwich, something of that nature, this would be a great item to put on your menu. Now, the last one in the Gold Medal brand is the 14 to 18 count, and this is just a hickory smoke. Now, I say just a hickory smoke, but this is still a true hardwood smoke. No liquid smoke is used. You can tell it's a little bit lighter in color. It's obviously also a little bit thinner. So with the 14 to 18 count, you're going to get more pieces per pound, and good application for this would be just a nice breakfast bacon. Once again, you could still use it on a BLT, something of that nature, or a hamburger, so that you're not adding too much weight and protein and cutting in on your profit. So what we have here is the Farmland 1822 hickory smoked bacon. Now, versus the single slice that was all laid out, this is actually considered shingled, so you can see that you would have to take this off and lay it out on your parchment paper. But when we referenced the first three, we said it was their gold label. Now, what that meant was that if this is a slab of bacon, it was the center cut to get those premier cuts for the first three items that we looked at. Now, this would be their middle tier, which is silver, so it's going to go slightly outside of those center cuts, and on the outside, the way that they trim it up, it's going to be a little bit less trimmed, so it's going to be slightly longer, not much, but not quite as cleanly trimmed as the other. Now, it's still a great flavored bacon. It's just going to have a little bit less speck on it than the first three that we looked at. So now we've looked at the Gold Medal brand, we've looked at the Silver Medal brand. This is the Farmland Bronze Medal brand. Now, bronze meaning it's going to be their lower tier, but you are still getting a high quality, very flavorful bacon that's going to cook up very consistent. It's still hickory wood smoked, no liquid smoke involved, but one thing I do want to point out is that pretty much this is the whole belly that's been sliced. Now, you can see here we've got some great center cuts that are on this flat here, but as you pull it back, just so that you do understand what you're getting, you're going to see that some of these are still going to be more of the end of the belly versus the center cut. So the speck isn't quite as tight as you would see on the gold or silver. Now, if you come down and look at the cooked product, though, you're still getting a very consistent, nice golden brown, crispy bacon. So just a couple more things I want to cover on the Farmland product that we've looked at today. Now, we talked about the different tiers. You've got gold, silver, and bronze. Now, when you get into the gold tier, all of that product is double smoked. Now, don't get me wrong, all the product is smoked for at least 8 hours with real hardwood smoke. But the gold label is going to get an additional smoking time, which imparts more of that flavor into the finished product. Now, from a profitability standpoint, let's look at it like this. If your plate cost is running too high and you're running 3 pieces of bacon, rather than looking for a cheaper product, consider looking for a higher count on your slices. it ultimately comes down to your per piece cost. So don't base everything on the case cost, but more so on the per slice. It'll ultimately drive more profit to the bottom line. Now, you can get with your Shamrock sales rep, and Farmland offers this great information based off of the processes we talked about, from the actual process of how the product is done to the sizing and the tiering. You can also go to Farmland's website, which is www.farmlandfoodservice.com. I hope you enjoyed this version of Shamrock Fresh, and we'll see you again next week.